Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the next part of automobile engineering in the unit number 4, wheels and tires. Myself, Mr. Spyut Gave, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Hyderabad. Now we can see the difference between the wheels and tires. The image shows, first image shows the wheel and second image is the tire. In this video, we are going to see the properties, requirements and the different types and the function of the wheels. The various requirements of an automobile wheel are: it must be strong enough to perform the above functions. It should be balanced both statically and as well as dynamically. It should be lightest possible so that the unsprung weight is least. It should be possible to remove or mount the wheel easily. Its material should not be weakened with the weathering and age. In case the material is susceptible to corrosion, it must be given a suitable protective treatment. Wheels along with the tire has to take a vehicle load, provide a cushioning effect and cope up with the steering control. Various requirements of an automobile requirement are: first is the strong enough to perform the above functions, balanced with the statically and dynamically, and possibly to remove or stand the vehicle wheel easily, as lightest as possible so the unsprung weight is least, easy to clean, easy to wash and be good quality. Should not be deteriorate with the age and weathering. If material is vulnerable to corrosion, must be given suitable protective treatment, and it must be of maximum strength to take a weight, road shocks, driving torque, and must be able to compensate all sorts of load varying in magnitude and direction. It must be strong enough to resist local deformation or when it is hits a road curb or any other obstacles. So these are the requirements of wheels. Next, we can see the wheel basics. The most standard wheels are made up of steel. Some vehicles are fitted with alloy wheels that are made up of magnesium or aluminum. The rim holds the tire and the well of the wheel allows the tire to be removed and repeated. The center section is welded to the rim. Now we can see the sectional view. In this portion, that is a red portion that is welded with the rim, and that is a pilot bore that fits to be hub initial, that is at the middle portion, and center mounting, that is numbers of holes provided. We can use the studs to attach this portion to the axle. Two-piece split side rings. So this is one of the type of wheel, split side ring rim, and second, three-piece flange or continuous ring. In this continuous side ring, it is provided along with split lock ring and finally on the rim. If any components are damaged, the rim must be replaced. Wheel rim size. So basically we can identify the different size, offset and the width, diameter with the number. So they can classify vehicle to vehicle. So first number, that is a 15 into 1, 15 into 6, 1 by 2. That first letter, that is represent the rim diameter, total diameter of the wheel. Second, that is a 1 by 2. It means that is a total rim width that is shown in the image. This is a rim width represented along with the diameter. Next of that, the JJ, the 3, that is a flange type. We can use split type or the 3 edge or 2 edge type. Next one, the 4th number, that is represent 114.3, means the pitch circle diameter, that is shown with the arrow. 5th letter, that is a bolt hole size, numbers of holes provided, that is shown 4. And last 6th, offset provided from the rim center line to the hub hole 33, that is offset is shown. So these are the basic related the wheel rim size. Now the run flat tires temporarily supports the weight of the vehicle even with no air pressure, and internal support thicker and stiffer side walls, stronger beads, can maintain mobility for up to 100 km. At slow speed we can use a 60 km per hour, that is shown in image. Aquaplaning or hydroplaning is one of the concept when we drive the vehicle at rainy season. At that time there is a water film, it is a full road contact with low speed. When we increase the speed, that is at moderate speed, reduced contact with the road, and at high speed, no road contact, that is the hydroplaning. So for that hydroplaning, so some of the requirements for to avoid the skidding or to control the vehicle, the direction or speed changes relies on the friction between the tires and the road surface. The grooves of rubber tire are designed to disperse the water from the under the tire, providing high friction even in wet conditions. Aquaplaning occurs when a tire encounters more water than it can be dissipated. Steering appears light as if we are driving with the wheels in air. Water pressure in front of the wheel makes a wedge of the water under the leading edge of the tire, causing it lift from the road, and this loss of traction causes the wheel to slip and prevents the vehicle from the responding to steering, braking or accelerating also. As a result, the vehicle can go out of control, start to skid or spin. The risk of aquaplaning increases with depth of standing water. If multiple tires aquaplane, the vehicle loses direction control and slide until it either collides with the obstacle or slows down so that friction is regained. Aquaplaning, that is a tire thread wear, it causes because of the tire thread wear. Worn tires will aquaplane more easily due to lack of tread depth. Tire inflation pressure under inflation enhance the aquaplaning. Tire tread aspect ratio longer and thinner, the contact patch less likely a tire is of aquaplaning. The small diameter and the wide tires are more prone to the aquaplaning. Vehicle weight, it is one of the most important parameter. At the more weight on the properly inflated, that is tire, increases the contact patch, you can reduce the aquaplaning. and weight can have the opposite effect if the tire it is the underinflated. Vehicle type also affect, that is a combination of vehicles or semi-trailers are more likely to experience uneven aquaplaning caused because of the uneven weight distribution. Solution on the aquaplaning: if aquaplaning it is encountered, the steering feels disconnected, do not brake, accelerate or steer the vehicle, allows the speed to reduce, and on its own you can reduce the aquaplaning or hydroplaning. Next is the valve stems and the covers. You can see the wheels, that is with the valve stems and covers assembly it is provided. The three functions of the valve stems: it retains the air and it allows to inflation and deflation. The rubber stem of the valve is pulled into the wheel. The valve cover contains the spring-loaded air valve insert. The valve cover also has a sealing washer and a seat washer. The valve cap keeps out dust and helps keep air in. The tire pressure must only checked and adjusted when the tire is cold. Now the wheel fixing, the hub with the wheel studs and nuts attached to the wheels to the hub. The wheel studs press through the hub or axle flange with the help of nut and with the help of studs. The taper on the wheels and nuts, that is secures and centers the wheel. The wheel studs usually have the right hand thread. If we use the left hand thread, it can be marked with the L, and if we use the metric threads, it can be marked with the capital M letter or metric. So now we can see the image in which the wheels are mounted on the hub flange. Wheel mounting arrow shows with the help of taper, studs or nut bolts we can use right or left hand threads. The torque required to wheel nut, that is the correct torque of the wheel fixing, is vital for all vehicles, and nearly all requires the use of a torque wrench. The excessive torque can be lead to be a wheel or hub distortion, causing runout and vibration. Low torque may allow wheel nuts to work loose and wheels to come off. Nuts should be tightened in diagonal pattern. So we can use a torque wrench to tighten the wheels, and proper torque we can apply to assemble the wheel on the hub axle. So different wheel sizes, they can define the parameters. The first number, that is defines inside the rim width in inches. The capital letter B or J, that is represent the flange height, code letter and flange profile. And last number, that is a nominal rim diameter in inches represented. The next of the representation, that is the first three letters, that is a 150 or 105, it represents the inside rim width in mm. Middle two letters, that is indicates the whether the wheel rim profile, and finally 315 and 319, that is shows the code, represent the nominal rim diameter in mm. So wheel assembly, already we have seen the different parameters that is related with the wheel. So basically rim diameter, well, rim width on which we can fit that is assembled with the hub, and numbers of holes are provided for cooling purpose on the side of the rim. So types of the wheels, they can classify it into the first type, steel wheels. Also we can call as a disc wheels. The image shows the disc wheel. A very popular design of wheel and very strong and cheap to produce. Most commonly used today's vehicles, steel wheels or disc wheels. Alloy wheels, two-wheelers and four-wheelers also, they are attractive and lightweight but can be difficult to clean. Some alloy wheels are difficult to clean, some are easy to clean. Next type of the wheel is the spoke wheels, or also we can call it as wire wheels, used on older sport vehicles but cannot be fitted with the tubeless tires. Fourth type of wheel, that is a divided rims. The rims are made into two holes which are bolted together. The rims must never be separated while the tire is inflated. And finally, that is split rings. The tire is held in a place by a large circlip. Do not remove the tire unless you have been that is properly trained. So these are the some types of the wheels. Now we can see one by one. So some customized wheels also available in market. So first off, there is a several types: aluminum wheels, cast, forged and rolled. Modified cars, they can use the aluminum wheels. Racing cars use the alloy wheels. Custom wheels for street use, single piece casting or that is of light alloy aluminum. And wheel offset, negative offset and positive offset, that is a increase track width of tires. We can use the negative offset, wheel offset, and positive offset, that is found on front wheel drives car. Also that is they classified pressed steel disc or wheels with the steel wire spokes and light alloy casting wheels. You can see one by one. First one, pressed steel disc. Most popular and most used type of wheel and having strong enough to sustain the weight, light, stiff and resistant to accidental damage. That can be manufactured in mass at very economical, low cost. These types of wheels has two pressing, namely the rim and the disc member welded together. The middle portion, it is welded with the outer portion, the rim and disc. Wire spoke wheels, oldest in design but remained in use largely because of the lightweight and strong construction but costly. Because of numbers of parts, spokes are increased. Rim attached to the hub through the wire spokes, much stronger in tension and transmit all the forces to the rim. The spokes has very little resistance to a bending and fastened so that complex loads coming on the wheels are resolved into tensile load evenly distributed among the adequate numbers of spokes. The stress and loads faced by the car or wheels are very complex, more critical in case such as accelerating, braking and cornering. And when such action is required, more often the spokes have different sets to take the acceleration, braking and weight force. Also able to take the side thrust during the cornering by having the triangular pattern. Light alloy cast wheels made from casting of light alloys of aluminum and magnesium. Wider rims and radial ribs also acts as a angled spokes to provide strength and air circulation. Construction avoids any sharp lines and angles to improve the strength, and disadvantage over the other two, especially used in racing cars. Aluminum and magnesium are used usually for casting purpose. Light alloy cast wheels are the light in weight. Heavier sections can be used to improve the stiffness and the of the wheels and better result in stress distribution. Rims with the larger area can be used with the results in use of wider tires with the less diameter, an absolute advantage in racing car since the lower center of gravity, and wider tires results in better road grip particularly during the cornering. So we can use the light alloy cast steel for racing cars, better conductor of heat, and hence heat dissipation from the tires and brakes is improved. Only corrosion is the main problem, chemically sensitive to the that is a salt spray, and need to regularly checking and inspection for corrosion. Now we can see the image of the cast light alloy wheel. So these are the properties, requirements and the types of the wheels. Thank you. Stay connected for the next video. In next video we can continue with the tires, their properties and types and requirements.